Well, I'll go ahead and get started. I thought I might get a little show here that there are actually some people, but I'll go ahead and say it. There we go. Got one. Thanks for being here. Hey, every time I try to do something like this, and they got a parking lot sweeper here, so it's going to get real noisy. I was hoping he'd keep going the other way, but of course he's coming back this way. I tried to hide from him. So you're going to hear a bunch of noise here for a minute. Okay, good morning, everybody. Today is the 14th of August, 2021. And I don't usually do this on a Saturday morning. I start kind of taking care of spiritual things Friday night and on through the day. But this fits the bill, so I need to bring it up. I was listening to Israeli News Live. A lot of you probably follow that. Steve Ben-Nun does a good job. I know. Sometimes, it's a little over the top, but by and large, there's still some good information there. And he mentioned something about asteroids. Well, that's not what I'm going to talk about, although I think that's a problem. But at any rate, he said that and I'm going to be veiled here as I often am on these things, okay? Because this is another one of those. And again, I'm putting it up on YouTube because I think it's that important. You look at the title of this, and then in the description box, you will see the link. Now that's a link to an Israeli news channel, okay? And you need to go look at this. You need to go read it. That's why I titled this video what I did. What you see happening there, Hitler did this historically, right? Hitler did this to the Jews. In reality, the senior Jews, the upper echelon of the Jewish people actually did it to the Jews in World War II. Hitler was just the tool to get it done. But Jews have always done this to their own people because they're really not Jews at the top. Okay, I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say it. Probably get me thrown off of here, but I'm just going to say it. Hopefully this will be up before the censors and the algorithm catches on. But at any rate, yes, that's right, BG. So they're pushing this thing probably more than any other group, and I'll be daggone if he isn't coming back. Yeah, it pisses me off. Okay, well, I'll just try to get this done, even though I came out here to try to get away from the damn noise. Okay, so what this is about is hideous, and it's tyranny at its highest level because they're using religion. And Israel, as you know, I've talked about it before, the nation of Israel is not a godly or religious state. It's a secular, not sectarian, I've said that before, mistaken term. It's a secular state that pretends to be religious, and it is not. It doesn't do anything according to Torah, okay? Not the government, not the leadership. So this is what we got. I saw on Israeli News Live, Steve Ben-Nun said that the PM of Israel, Bennett, said that no one would hear the shofar if they don't get the GMI. And of course, the statistics coming out of Israel show that the people that are actually getting sick are those who have had the GMI, right? Steg Lash, I'm the Playboy Plus channel? Really? Anyway, and so they're out there beating up their citizens. All this is coming here. It's already here. It's just they're incrementally putting it in here slowly to try to take us off guard, right? I think everybody knows that. You got to get ready. The people are going to have to do the heavy lifting because nobody in the military, the police are going to help you. I hope you understand that. I put that out on a tweet this morning. That's the way it is. And people that are burying their heads in the sand right now and pretending like they can go along with life if they just ignore it are going to be sadly mistaken very, very quickly. So, the Israeli Prime Minister, and I couldn't believe this when I heard Steve Ben-Nun say it. I thought, no. And he had the article online on his screen. So I had to go look it up. It took me a minute. It didn't come up on Google. I tried it several different ways. It wouldn't come up. I finally had to use Start Page, and I got it to come up. And it still wasn't the number one thing, even though it was the most recent. And sure enough, like I said, Google tried to hide it, but it was right there. The Prime Minister Bennett of Israel said that if they don't get the GMI, they will not hear the shofar, which means, if you understand the thing, that they're not obeying and that it will delay the coming of the Messiah. Do you realize how absolutely demonic that is? That not getting the GMI will delay this. Yeah, well, to them it's not the second coming, right? Will delay the coming of the Messiah. Like he has any authority whatsoever to say such a damn thing. The government of Israel is a real problem. And our government is fashioned after it, which is also, they're all fashioned after the Chinese model. Israel is not. I got to be careful how I say this. Is not the bastion of quote unquote democracy in the Middle East that it claims to be. And what it's doing right now is proof of it. Throw me off if you want, YouTube. I got to say it. Okay, and I go on Library or Odyssey to do this, but again, it's just too dang important. So the Israeli government is showing exactly what its fangs are like. It is a vampire. It has now turned from the Palestinians onto its own people, and the United States is now pulling out of Afghanistan to put those forces against us. And don't think it's against Cuba or China. I've said for years, you can go back and look at it, and I've been really pointed about it here lately, that the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan were for riches, were for minerals, were for esoteric items, and most of all for the opium in Afghanistan. And anybody who's been in the military and is willing to be honest about it will tell you that. Raldo Rivera interviewed some Marine captain or major one day several years back and found out about that. Okay? So what were we really doing in Afghanistan and Iraq? Well, I'm going to tell you. Because all of the surveillance that you see being implemented here in the United States now, and the lockdowns and all that, we practiced it first in Afghanistan and Iraq, so that the military would know how to do those things, to fix the mistakes and the errors in their procedures before they tried it on the American people. Afghanistan and Iraq were dry runs for the takeover by the military-industrial complex. Not that they don't already have it, but I mean really seriously in the United States. Milley is your mortal enemy. The Pentagon is your mortal enemy. The DOJ is your mortal enemy. In fact, governments across the country are your mortal enemy at this point. Look at what DHS just put out about domestic terrorist extremists who push back on the GMI or all these other restrictions. That we're the enemy? No, they work for us, not the other way around. And now what you see the PM of Israel saying is exactly what they plan on doing here very quickly. Biden backed off the other day, but you see it's happening in places that he influences more than others. But don't kid yourself, it's going to come to the red states too. I shouldn't even use that term. It's going to come to the conservative states. Red's a bad term for those of you who understand that. So now the PM, who is about as ungodly as a man can be, is threatening his people that if they don't get that GMI, that they're not going to hear the shofar, vis-a-vis they're not going to get their Messiah. He's not going to come. You red-ass vermin, Bennett. They ought to go and throw your ass out. Stone you, as a matter of fact. That's what they should do. Stone you. I'm done. I got to go. I'm really mad, but I'm not surprised. It's not the question of whether he has anything to do with the coming. It's the threat. It's the threat that's disgusting. You all take care.